What's up, you guys? We're back with some more college football week 10. This is Beat the Odds college football edition on Odds Checker, and we're here with this week's college football picks. Before we get started, guys, how was your week? How did our picks do?
I had my worst week of the season, which I think mathematically means that I'm going to have a great week this week. I think that's how it works. There's no real question about that I can see. I was 2-5 last week. 4-6 on the year now on my picks of the week. Missed one last week with Indiana. I am 32-28 overall against the spread in these videos. That's a decline. I had a 6-1 week about a month ago, and I've been hovering around 500 since then. And then, really lost a few games this week. Again, I think it's time to regress back in a more positive direction. We're trusting the process. We're feeling optimistic.
It's November. It's a new month. Short memory. Everything going forward is brand new, except for I went 4-2 last week, so we're going to sustain that momentum. See, we're having two different mindsets here. I'm going to keep the old stuff and discard the old stuff. I'm up to 35-20 a year. Not bad. 6-4 picks of the week. We'll take it.
Great. Well, like Jason said, start of the new month, and let's get rolling with those picks.
Let's do it. I'll start with a couple here in God's conference, the MAC, EMU and Toledo. These are weeknight games, by the way, in the MAC this week. EMU and Toledo, I have Toledo minus 9.5. Toledo has been really disappointing this year and in general, I think, under Jason Candle. They did just play their best game of the season against Western Michigan, looked really, really solid in the process there. I think that also there's just something here where they are A, playing at home, and B, they're the most talented team in this league, and they are playing Eastern Michigan, which does not have the athletes that Toledo has. Less than 10 feels like a pretty good number for me to take Toledo. Also in the MAC, Northern Illinois and Kent State. I'm going under 67 here in this game. Kent State's defense is obviously the problem. They're terrible and could give up so many points that the under busts easily. But I think that NIU is kind of like a glorified triple option team. They really do not like to put the ball in the air. So even if they're moving the ball on Kent State, I think they're going to do it predominantly on the ground, and that's going to keep the clock moving. So 67 is a lot. It's a high number. I'm happy to go under.
Let's keep it weeknight. I'm going to take the third night game. Georgia State is they have some short week travel after a road game going on. They're going to Louisiana to face the Raging Cajuns. So not only did they have to go face Georgia Southern last week, got the dub, but now they have to go a second straight road game on a short week. Just sloppy scheduling, if you ask me. The better team, Louisiana, has a 10.5 margin to cover. I believe both teams like to run the ball, and I think the Cajuns should be able to control the trenches, especially State kind of being screwed by conference scheduling here.
I think that makes great sense. Virginia Tech and Boston College in the ACC. I'm on Virginia Tech minus 3 in this game. I'm not really a believer in Virginia Tech. I think Justin Fuente is going to get fired pretty soon, but Boston College has lost every ACC game by at least 6 points. The last 3 of those by at least 14 points, and without scoring, I think, more than 14 or so points in any of those games. You can think Virginia Tech is kind of a wreck right now and still think that they can cover 3 points against this Boston College team with a backup quarterback.
Speaking of a Beamer adjacent team and backup quarterbacks, give me South Carolina plus 19.5 against the Florida Gators. Florida has been a bad covering team all year and will probably spend like all of Saturday micromanaging its quarterback controversy and overthinking everything in sight and all that stuff, while South Carolina enjoys the luxury of not having any quarterbacks at all. That's a joke. Zeb Noland, look him up. He might be back after a bye week after an injury. The former graduate assistant is a totally average SEC quarterback. So I think the Gamecocks can probably put together enough points while Florida just sort of overwhelms itself with brain problems on the other sideline all day.
Sure. Couple here for me in the group of 5. San Diego State and Hawaii. I am under 46 in this game. Do I really need to explain it? It's San Diego State. It's the under. You just kind of pick the low number with this team. This is for San Diego State, really, other than Iowa. It is kind of the preeminent all defense, no offense team in the country. Don't think Iowa's going to score a lot. Something like 34-10 seems right, and that would have us safely on the underside of this game. Georgia State and Louisiana. I am on the Cajuns minus 11 here, a worse number than Jason, but Louisiana's been really dominant the last few weeks. I think some rumors of their problems, of their demise, may have been exaggerated, and I think that they have a good chance.
Let me match that under energy. I am taking Auburn plus 4.5 and the under 50 against Texas A&M. A&M plays real slow. Run the ball, they throw short, Auburn real fast, but they run the ball. Both teams probably better on defense than offense. In general, I think Auburn's probably the better team and could win outright, but I'll just stick with keep it close and keep it ugly for now.
Very fair. Michigan and Indiana in the Big Ten. I'm on Michigan minus 19 here. Basically, my thought process here is pretty simple. Michigan just took a crippling loss to Michigan State. It is time for Michigan to get on a dominant run and make their fans think that they're going to contend with Ohio State. Before not doing that, Indiana is going to be a casualty. Also, they're on their third string QB, and I don't think they can move the ball against Michigan's defense.
Speaking of Michigan and teams whose coaches are going to be there for 10 years, despite never winning national titles, I will take UTSA. It's 10.5 against UTEP in the game of the century. UTSA is 7-1 against the spread. Don't look up UTEP's record against the spread. It's also really good. Focus on UTSA's. UTSA has been pretty good all year, despite rarely hunting for big plays. It's just a steady cloud of dust offense, very befitting their mascot. But UTEP's defense gives up a whole lot of big plays. So it could be a week, and especially considering UTSA they've scored 45 points 3 straight games and then a bye week. So if you tell me they hit 45 again, okay, I think we cover.
I have to respect that view as well. Mizzou and Georgia under 59.5 for me in this game. The spread is Georgia minus 38. I was afraid of that because I think Georgia might score too much for that. I think that Mizzou is going to have to really scrap and claw to score 10 points in this game. I think that would be hugely impressive if they could do that. But on the other hand, I could easily imagine Georgia getting up 42-3 and then just chilling. So let's go with the under at 59.5.
All right. Are we ready for our picks of the week?
I think I'm ready for it. Katelyn, are you still undefeated? Did you get through this past weekend undefeated with your pick of the week as well?
Yes, I did. So I believe I did. Yes. So we're moving forward. Going on to week 10, I'm looking at Ohio State. They're playing Nebraska. Nebraska continues to struggle. Although, Ohio State did beat Penn State last week, Nebraska is a much worse team than Penn State. Ohio State does still have a great offense, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns out to be a blowout for Ohio State. So I'm taking Ohio State at minus 15 this week.
If Katelyn's saying that, then that's bad news for Nebraska because Katelyn has not missed a pick of the week all year.
Katelyn is roughly 7,000-0, so Nebraska is doomed.
For me, I'm taking Wake Forest plus 2.5 in Chapel Hill against North Carolina. Wake's passing game is really, really great with Sam Hartman, with A.T. Perry, with Jafari Roberson. I think they're going to move the ball quite a bit on the UNC defense. A lot of computer systems, projection systems really like UNC. They have all year. I've seen enough to think they're a bit overrated by those systems. They're 4-4 and have not looked very good doing it. I think Wake has a day and wins this thing outright.
UNC is just so volatile. They just play up or down to whoever they're facing, whereas Wake is steady, consistent, reliable. That thing we always about Wake Forest. Speaking of consistent and reliable, folks, the trend, it's here again. Navy plus 21.5 against Notre Dame. Since 1995, the Service Academies are 42-11-1 against the spread as 3-touchdown underdogs. I didn't even look up the power ratings for this game. I just took it. I don't care what the computers say that the spread should be. Notre Dame's run defense, nothing special. Navy is horrible, but they might have enough on going on defense to limit the number of possessions in this game, and that's all we're going for here. Just get completely outclassed, but lose by exactly 3 touchdowns. That's all we want.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, those are our week 10 college football picks. We'll be back next week with some more. This was Beat the Odds College Football Edition on Odds Checker. We'll catch you guys next week.